What's good, y'all? It's your boy TravTheRealist from Geeks, and I thought we should have a little story time. I wanted to make this video on how I got back into wrestling and what I love about it so much now. So tune in. What's good, family? So it's funny. I always been a real big wrestling fan, all the way back from when I was a little kid. I don't really remember how I got into wrestling, but I know I was flipping through the channels and I seen a person called Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Back then it was just The Rock or the Brahma Bull, whatever you want to call him. And back then I never seen a man of color. At the time, he was really pushing the whole black agenda. He had so much swagger and he talked the best shit. And it was like at the time it was so many good wrestlers that he can go off of. And at the time, I didn't know what a heel in the face was. For everybody who don't know what a heel in the face is, a heel is pretty much the villain, and a face is pretty much the hero. So at the time, The Rock was a heel, so he was a bad guy. But to me, the coolest guy ever. Like, talked that great shit, and he looked the part. And it was so many other good wrestlers from like Triple H, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, like Brock Lesnar in his prime, and the list goes on. It was just a different time period, and I stuck with wrestling for a good moment. So I probably started watching wrestling around 1999 and UPN. I remember UPN, that black network. It wasn't really a black network, but it was basically a black network because it played all black like shows. I used to love UPN. Yeah, RIP. But I used to watch it on UPN from like 99. Then I went to like USA, and I think I started watching it like around 2012 because the storyline was just too childish for me. It was like they was really trying to push the Shield and this guy named Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he the man now, but back then it was just like they were trying to force feed it, and it was just too many like comedy segments. It just didn't feel real and authentic like how I used to know my wrestling product. It was like meant for kids, and pretty much it was. Like back in the day, it was like rated like PG-14. Like now it was rated like PG, and it just turned into PG-14. I think like in the next couple months, and it's 2022. So mind you, back then it was really just for the kids. So I just had to fall back from it. I was still watching like TNA here and there, but TNA was kind of going on a downhill too because a lot of their top talent was either leaving, and it was like Kurt Angle was still there, but he was getting older, and you could tell that his body was deteriorating for everything he was doing in the ring. And, he had personal problems too. Don't want to get into all of that, but, Kurt Angle was really, like, doing a lot at that time. So I think all that burden was just, like, crushing him down. So I really just stopped watching wrestling. I was like, maybe this is my time to just, like, let it go, find something new. So a couple of years passed, and like I think it was like 2008, like 2017 probably. I see something come up on my YouTube page, and it was AJ Styles and New Japan. Like at the time, I didn't know what New Japan Wrestling was, but New Japan Wrestling is a wrestling company overseas in Japan where they take wrestling more serious. It's like more of like an art form, more UFC style. It's more realistic. So instead of like all like flashy moves, it's more elbow strikes, knees, like punches to the face, different things like that. They're more grappling based. So I'm watching it, and I didn't see when AJ Styles first joined, like when he joined the Bullet Club. I seen AJ Styles when he was getting kicked out of the Bullet Club. And the man that made me start watching wrestling again was a man named Kenny fucking Omega. And I don't know, there's something about this guy when I first seen him, the way he talked, the way he looked, like his confidence, his ring ability. He was just like one of those anti-villains. Like I always like a big anti-villain guy. Like I love people who can talk shit and back it up. It goes all the way back into the Rock days. Like if you good and you talk shit, I don't care if you're a bad guy, as long as you can back it up. And he was part of like one of the he was a leader of one of the biggest stables at the time called the Bullet Club. And the Bullet Club is a pretty much a wrestling group or a faction like in overseas for like people who aren't from Japan. They can join, and they kind of be like renegades. There were things like that, but they had like a lot of great wrestlers from like Finn Balor, AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, to even what's his name? Jay White right now. Jay White's the leader right now. He's doing real big things. But like Kenny Omega was just like having like 7-star, 8-star matches. Like he was just like breaking like the scale when it came to matches, and he won like the New Japan Cup. I think he won the G1 Classic, but he kept losing to this guy named Okada. Okada is pretty much is like Hulk Hogan in Japan. Like he's like the second coming of Crisis or some shit like that. I didn't mean to curse with those two things together, but that's pretty much what he was. And it was like Kenny Omega kept coming so close, kept losing. So it was just like each match. It was, I think the first match, I think Okada won. I think the second match, I think they both passed out. I think, when it's like a double like disqualification, the champion retains. You know what I'm saying? Because he technically didn't lose. At the very end, Kenny Omega finally won the big one. And I was just like so invested in this man's journey. Like he was just so charismatic. Like he could speak Japanese. Like every time he would win, he would have like this amazing promo at the end where he'll be like, "Goodbye and good night." Bang! I just loved it, man. Like I felt like a little kid all over again. And, watching him, I started, watching his teammates like the Young Bucks, the Elite. And I started looking into all their old matches and seeing like, damn, like there's a whole other underbelly of wrestling that people don't even know about that is like amazing. It's not like that cookie cutter soft stuff you see on wrestling right now. And mind you, I know wrestling is fake, but the moves they do and the risk they put on their body is not fake. It's just predetermined. Like I'm at a point now where it's like I enjoy guessing who's gonna win or lose because I feel like it's predictable. So I feel like if you give me a wrestling product that is not predictable, I'm gonna lean more towards it. I feel like in WWE, you knew who was gonna win every time. So once I started watching New Japan wrestling, I started seeing all these new wrestlers. Didn't know none of them from scratch, so I didn't know who was going to be winning. But like I said, I was focused. I was really focused on Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club. Like I watched all their matches. I started digging deep, and the good thing about catching on to things late is you can always go back and watch everything back to back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching these kids. Cody Rhodes finally shows up. If you don't know Cody Rhodes, he's like one of the biggest wrestlers right now. Cody Rhodes show up. He was trying to get his name back from it being tarnished in WWE under the whole Stardust gimmick, but you see the whole civil war between them, and you see that these four guys, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes, bet on themselves and was like, you know what? We think we can make our own company. So they started with making a show called All Out, a pay-per-view where they sold out in like minutes. I forgot, I don't know how many seats, but it was like so many seats that Vince McMahon and Triple H thought they couldn't sell it, and they sold it out in seconds. You know what I'm saying? So after they had that kind of success, they got the backing of this billionaire named Tony Khan. I believe he is I believe he's the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Tony Khan's a big wrestling fan, and he like put money into this company. And what made it even more juicier is Chris Jericho joined as well. Even though Chris Jericho, he's one of like the most polarizing wrestlers in the world. Like he's been with wrestling since '98, and he's still doing it now at such a high level, and he reinvented himself to like extreme levels. And it's just like it's amazed me pretty much. But here comes a brand new product. Raw and authentic. It's aimed towards an older demographic, 20 to 35, and it gave you that old school Attitude Era WWE feel. Like they literally destroyed NXT, which was WWE best wrestling product, even though they didn't get the shine it deserved. Honestly, I think NXT was actually a better product wrestling wise. But when it came to the wrestling and entertainment side, it wasn't competing with with AEW at all. So AEW started getting all these indie wrestlers like wrestlers who like pretty much made a name on the independent scene. They wasn't on a big market like WWE and WCW. And I'm sorry, I wasn't a WCW kid. I didn't watch it. I was strictly WWE. So you knew it means something when when I jumped ship. Like I literally went straight AEW and was just like fuck WWE, because it was just like WWE was just not giving you nothing new. AEW was giving you something new every time. And even when you see some duds here and there, you got to realize like this company only been around for like I think 3 years. it's still a baby, so it's going to have its bumps and bruises. But the classic matches that they put on, and it keeps bringing in like new people from different promotions like Ring of Honor. No, they just bought Ring of Honor, and they got people coming from New Japan. They got this kid named Takeshita from some Japan circuit that is just amazing, and it's just a breath of fresh air. And what I love about it is I love the tag team scene of everything. Like I love seeing the Lucha Bros. I love seeing Proud and Powerful. I love seeing Young Bucks. I love seeing what FTR is doing. Like FTR is going all over the place, killing the market right now. And I really love Keith Lee and Swerve Scott. Like I know for a fact that it's not going to last for long. They're going to break up soon. But seeing a black tag team who got moves like that, it just does my heart justice. Like I literally just seen them win the tag team championships 2 weeks ago, and I was literally jumping up and down, screaming like I was a kid again, like when I was 10 years old. And that's what I say that I love this shit. Like they like AEW, Kenny Omega, and all the wrestlers part of the promotion brought a joy back to me. So I do feel like if you do want to get back into wrestling, like this is the perfect time. Like a wrestling renaissance is going on right now. Literally a few days ago, WWE said they're turning their product from PG to PG-14. So WWE product gonna go up. Cody Rhodes went from AEW to WWE. He literally pretty much built AEW, and I'm so mad he left. But he's so good, I have to follow his story. Like I gotta see where he ends up. I still mad at you, Cody, but I'm still gonna watch. The only reason I watch WWE. I know a lot of people say Roman Reigns got the whole best storyline going on right now, but I just hate chicken shit heels, yo. I hate people who are like his size, who should be a medicine force, who are just people who just do dastardly deeds. Like he depends on Paul Heyman, his cousins. Like I like people who are badass who can back it up. Even though Kenny Omega used to do like some dirty deeds here and there, he used to like him and his boys used to beat up other teams. It used to never be like just 3-on-1 just outright. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to delve into all of that, but I just want to let you know why I got back into wrestling, why I love wrestling. I wanted to make a short video. I really think you should tune into AEW and honestly WWE right now with them changing their rating because they feel that competition coming on. So they're going to make their product way more interesting. And I do know they have a lot of good talent. It's just that I feel like WWE is such a big corporation now. They can't let things get too crazy. So let's see how it goes. But if you want to look into wrestling, check out AEW. Check out New Japan Wrestling too right now. The whole G1 Classic going on. The G1 Classic is pretty much a tournament of it used to be 2 blocks, A block and B block. Now it's 4 blocks, A through D. And the overall winner of the tournament can challenge for the New Japan World Heavyweight Championship, which I think is one of the most prestigious belts out there. So really need to tune into it. It's your boy TravTheRealist. Just want to give you a little story time how I got back into wrestling. It's all love. Please like, subscribe, comment. Enjoy your day. Peace.